doing for a long time. Love World of Warcraft, haven't played in a while. If you have had a chance to stick around with it, that is a huge world to undertake. You know, we're talking different races. We're talking ogres. We're talking humans. We're talking worgans. We're talking goblins. We're talking a huge race of people that, or not even just people, but creatures. A huge mix of creatures in this World of Warcraft film. So I'm wondering how Duncan is going to, I guess you could say, attack this, because, you know, at Comic-Con right now, we saw the first glimpses of the World of Warcraft logo. We looked at some props for the Alliance and for the Horde. So my question is that, I mean, from your Professor Barry's standpoint, do you think this is something that we need to focus on a single or maybe two races of people and get a sense of the world of Warcraft in this movie? Or do you think he's going to go massive scope and try and attack this thing from all sides? I mean, what would your take be? Because right now, all we've seen is from Comic-Con has been the actual logos and some props, and that's it. No story has been leaked at all yet.
If this is going to be one of those trilogy deals, it sounds like that would make absolute sense, because as you said, this thing is so gigantic, the scope of it is so huge, it sounds like it's one of these things where it could lose focus so quickly if they don't focus in right away. I'm always reminded of the Dungeons & Dragons movie that came out in 2000. They tried for years to get that thing off the ground. Once they finally did, it was unfocused, it was frankly embarrassing, and even with Jeremy Irons and Marlon Wayans and Thora Birch in the cast, that film absolutely did not work in any way other than the CGI dragons. You know that the effects for something like this are going to be great, and because of Lord of the Rings, you know they have to step up their game in terms of the spectacle. But in terms of just making a great story with compelling characters, yes, I certainly do hope they hone in just on a little bit of it so they can expand, and there's a lot of room for expansion as opposed to trying to cram way too much in one movie. I don't know how they could possibly do this in less than 3 hours with each film.
That's exactly my point. There's no way that you can attack this without having a 3-hour plus film for each film. This is a trilogy without a doubt. This is a total and complete trilogy kind of a vehicle. So Duncan Jones has a big he's got a huge platter that he has to get through. I mean,
he has a lot of time in the next 10 years, especially if he's going to do a trilogy, which to me is the only way this would make sense. I can't see just a standalone film.
No way.
A standalone film that would work, a standalone film that would make the fans happy, and a standalone film that would encompass the enormity of World of Warcraft.
Absolutely. Also, on that San Diego Comic-Con, we have more information on Batman v Superman.
Oh boy!
Dawn of Justice. They've released. They have the. Apparently, they have the costume that Batman will be wearing at Comic-Con, and on the internet, as of now, they have released a brand new photo of Ben Affleck in the costume, and it's in color.
Wow.
Well, if I can share it
How's
with
it look?
let me share it with you really quick without ruining anything.
Oh, okay.
Look at that.
Just him in the cowl.
It's him. It's like a side profile of him in the cowl, short ears. It's the short-eared Batman costume. It's a Frank Miller. It's a Frank Miller Batman costume. I have to say that he looks good.
He's got a good chin for that.
Chin is fantastic. Yeah. His chin is fantastic for it.
His chin is carrying the performance so far, I'd say.
As a matter of fact, he hasn't done anything yet, so it looks fantastic as we speak. Do you think Batman v Superman, do you think, like I do, I think they're moving way too fast. Because not only have we heard that Batman's going to be in it, but Superman's going to be in it, Wonder Woman's going to be in it, Cyborg is going to be in it, Aquaman is allegedly in it. Do you think they're trying to catch up to Marvel's... I guess you could say Marvel's filmography too quickly? Because I think they are too, and I think they have a potential to ruin it.
I worry this is going to be Amazing Spider-Man 2, although even more so because this is cramming it, absolutely cramming the mythology, the story. It seems like the timeline is even on fast forward here. And by the way, they're going to lose that clunky title. I'm sorry, but whether it's just Batman versus Superman, Superman versus Batman,
no, it's
Batman,
not versus though. It's V. It's Batman v Superman. I know it stands for versus, but if you look at the title, it's Batman 5 Superman.
Sure.
I don't understand it myself. I really don't. I mean, we're mocking the title here, but you know, why not just call it
Dawn of Justice. That's fine.
Dawn of Justice.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that. I mean, I think if you were to show the preview, I think we'd get the gist of what it's about.
Right.
There's no, Batman v Superman in logically speaking, when you look at comics and movies, two different things. Having a comic book that has a guy who dresses up in a suit that's the world's greatest detective, Batman, and then you have a guy who comes from another planet who is basically sun powered. He is solar powered by all accounts. Superman, he's a strong son of a gun on our Earth. Our sun and our atmosphere make him extremely powerful. See, in the comics, you can get away with Superman punching Batman. See, in the movies, though, if you have Superman hauling off and knocking Batman in the face, he's going to smash Batman's face. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's going to punch a hole through it. So I'm wondering how they're going to temper that. I wonder if... this is not a spoiler, because if you haven't seen it, I'm sorry. At the end of Man of Steel, when Superman does something unprecedented as far as his character, and he kills Zod, maybe this teaches him how to be more... how to keep his strength under control, possibly. Maybe that's the case. But I think that there's kind of an issue, calling it Batman versus Superman, because... when you say that, you're waiting for them to fight. You're waiting for them to knock each other's block off. But I don't think that that's the case. Do you? I mean,
I don't know. And how fair could that fight be? I mean, if it's going to be like Red Sun, where Batman's got the gloves, that's got the kryptonite, that would make sense, and that at least puts him on even Steven. But yeah,
that's a great comic, by the way. Nice call.
Favorites. Love
nice
Red
call.
Sun, one of my favorites. But they're waving the freak flag, the geek flag. But I'll tell you what, though, I'm worried that the film is going to be as overreaching, as overstuffed, and as clunky as that title. Though I'm worried about that because
I am too.
Affleck looks good. I got to say, Affleck looks good. I'm worried about the director, and I'm worried about just how many possible franchises they're stuffing into that one film.
I think Zack Snyder did a very good job with Man of Steel. You differ in that opinion than I do. You despise that film.
Pretty much.
I thought he did a good job. I enjoyed the film for what it was, but I think that he has the potential, and I think what he needs to do is that he needs to be willing to have someone that writes on this that has an emotional center. Because Zack, not to take anything away from Zack Snyder, he's a great director, but somebody needs to give this movie a little bit of heart. And that's what it needs. It's going to need that in order for us to connect. Because, knocking each other around on screen is one thing. We like that stuff. But, if there's no connection, then we've got nothing. So I think as of this point, I am in total agreement with you that we are kind of in trouble with where this is going. I'm excited for it regardless because I'm a total nerd for this stuff. But
sure.
I'm afraid. I'm extremely afraid. So... that is something else that hopefully they'll have more information on coming up in Comic-Con this week. It's on for the next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday's the last day, right?
It's a very long weekend.
It's a 3-day weekend of coverage, and we're going to be having that when we have our next show next week. We'll have all of what happened from Hall H and down everything, so we'll have more information on Comic-Con. We'll talk more about Star Wars Rebels, the new Disney CGI animated show. We'll talk more about Pixels, which is based on that YouTube video starring Adam Sandler, Michelle Monaghan, and Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
Looks fantastic. You can check that out online as we speak. There's trailers for it, as a matter of fact.
Nice.
And I don't know if it's connected to Comic-Con, but I did see that there was a Red Band trailer for Hot Tub Time Machine 2, sans John Cusack, who is being replaced by Adam Scott, the guy from Parks and Recreation. Were you a fan of Hot Tub Time Machine?
I actually was.
So was I. Yeah. So was I. I thought it was very good. It was a very good film. It warmed. It not only did it warm the body with its nice hot tub, but it warmed your heart a bit as well. And I thought throwing back to the '80s was really fun. But now, according to Hot Tub Time Machine 2, what they've done in the past has repercussions to their present. So,
nice.
That could be interesting. But apparently, they're going to the future. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a little worried.
But Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey was even more imaginative and even bigger in scope than Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. So there are possibilities.
Did you like Bogus Journey?
I love Bogus Journey.
I liked them both. I like Excellent Adventure and Bogus Journey. Did I tell you I ended up finding Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure on Blu-ray for $2.
Oh my gosh!
I had to buy it.
Yeah,
$2. Unbelievable. I'm not revealing where I found it, but it was $2. No one's finding my secret spot for Blu-rays. Sorry. Maybe you can hit me up at our Twitter account at NerdWatch Nation. That's where you can find us.
It's not a certain bin at a certain superstore.
No, it's not there at all. But seriously, it's not there. So Comic-Con, we'll be talking more about, like I said, the Star Wars Rebels. We'll be talking about a ton of new stuff coming up. We'll find out what all the panels are. I know that The Rock, who has a movie coming out this weekend, which we'll get to later, he's also hinting at the fact that he'll be playing Shazam.
Wow.
Or not even Shazam. I should say he'll be playing Captain Marvel, a.k.a. the word that gets him to be Shazam. Or the word that gets him there, Shazam.
Gotcha.
He will be there.
So it's not a remake of the Shaquille O'Neal classic.
Right. That's right. I thought that was Kazam. No? Is it Shazam?
I don't know.
I thought it was Kazam.
Was it?
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm wondering.
I've never
I don't
seen
really
it.
keep up with Shaquille O'Neal's film
body of
exploits.
work?
Yeah, his body of work is something I don't keep up with. But I will say that he was great in Blended. If you haven't seen,
I thought you were going to say Blue Chips. You went to Blended.
He's fantastic in Blended. By the way, that's my sleeper hit of the summer. Blended with Adam Sandler. His last couple of films haven't been great. Do yourself a favor. Check out Blended. Underrated. Drew Barrymore, Adam Sandler are so cute together. I love that movie. Check it out, please, by all means. I think you'll have a different idea of it once you see it. Maybe on the small screen, because there are sometimes films play better on the small screen. I'm always a big candidate for that when people say, hey, well, it sucks. You spend, I think I've said this before, but I'll say it now, is that, you spend $20 on 2 tickets to the movies. You spend another $40 at the concession. Then you sit down and watch a crappy movie. And then you sit down and watch a movie, I should say. And then you go, well, this is crap. Well, when you take it home and you're in your living room, in your underwear, in your boxer shorts, or whatever you sit at home in when you're, by yourself, Barry. I don't know what you're comfortable in. Just shirt.
Very little clothing.
Very okay. All right, I'll leave that to my imagination. But when you're sitting in your living room and you're watching a film, you do have a different take on what you're watching.
Yeah.
I had that with a few movies. Iron Man 2 being one of them. I didn't like that on the big screen. But when I got it home, I realized that Iron Man 2, though weak, it was a better film when you watch it at home on your television screen. I don't know. I think it has to do with expectation. The expectation is high because you got your popcorn, you're ready to, chow down on that thing, and you're watching it on this huge 70-foot screen, and then you're disappointed because it's not a very good movie. But those expectations all go away, and your expectations come down a bit, so you're not so high, and you realize that maybe it was your expectations that was bringing you not to like this movie.
Yeah.
So hopefully, that's exactly why I think, you're talking about Batman v Superman. I think everybody's expectations are up to the roof, and I don't think that's going to pay off. So,
what do you think about this, though? I was thinking about this recently. I watched, as so many comic book fans did. I looked at Tim Burton's Batman again recently, since it just turned 25 years old.
Yes.
And everybody's been commenting about Batmania and how that film really kind of set the trend.
75th anniversary of Batman.
Yeah, it's a
right.
very big deal when that film came out.
Yes.
It's still a great film. I look at that film now, and it feels so quaint. It's one hero, one villain, one girl, one story, and you're in, you're out. It's not a very messy or overcomplicated movie.
Think about
it's
this.
Very
You're
streamlined.
right. It is very streamlined. And you think about this, too. When that came out, that was a dark movie.
Very dark, very violent, very shockingly so,
right.
Controversial.
And it's almost comical now.
Yeah.
If you think about it. I mean, even Batman Returns, which is even darker than the first one, that's even comical.
Yeah.
So we're in a very different place as far as expectations of Batman films go. Even comic book films. I think a lot of... Unfortunately, Hollywood sees that and goes, "Oh well, that darkness of a character is working in our favor." Not really. Look at the Avengers now. There's no dark characters in there. There's people with troubled souls maybe, but nothing dark. I think that you got to go with what the character is, and I think that that's what works. And you're right that with Tim Burton and his 75th anniversary of Batman now, Batman now looks, like you said, absolutely quaint. It doesn't even look the same. I look at those films and I think they're. I enjoy them, but those are very comic book-esque films, for sure. And heck, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'll call it a guilty pleasure, but I still think that Batman and Robin is actually a pretty fun movie.
Wow, you're the guy.
I'm the guy. I think it's a fun movie. I liked it. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger and his corny, the corny lines, that he says in the museum, and it looked like an old Batman episode with Adam West and Burt Ward.
Absolutely, it fits in the Batman universe. You're absolutely right. It's essential because it does reflect the different